Don't enter into life's arena unarmed. Let Parker show you how to make fear work for you. Even enjoy fear. What money says when it talks. The heartbeat of time. The vital importance of momentum. How to be the person you always wanted to be. And keeping your dreams alive. There is no man like this anywhere.
Well, we left there and moved into a real small apartment. And a friend of mine let me use a used Volkswagen Rabbit. One of those old, ugly, square ones with the straight stick, no radio, no air conditioning. Now, here's a guy that, previous to the bankruptcy and the repossessions, I was driving Lincolns and Corvettes. I'm driving this ugly Rabbit. And I'll tell you something, I hated it. I hated it. Every moment in it was agony. And it was like I was lost in a fog, like stumbling around, totally confused. Now, I was real good at blame. I mean, I could blame a lot of different things and people for my problems. And I was also super good at denial. And this went on for about 6 or 8 months. And one afternoon, I was sitting in a bar with a bunch of, well, just tell it like it is, a bunch of losers. And we were really blaming, we were blaming a lot of other people for our problems. I mean, we were good, too. We were good. We were good at this. I mean, we were just taking turns blaming, making excuses, and putting other people down. And I just started paying attention to what was really going on there. And I'm going to tell you that it scared me. I just got up, and I started walking towards the door, and somebody said, "Hey, Parker, where you going?" I just kind of waved. And I walked out and got him my Rabbit. And I drove back over to that neighborhood where I had lost that 3-story home on the beach. And I pulled up out in front of that house. Now, someone else had bought it, but I felt like they were living in my home. But there wasn't anything I could do about it. And I was just sitting there, and the man that had bought it had a boy about the same age as my son, and he was playing right on those steps where I picked up my son and carried him out of there. And I will tell you that it just riveted me. It's just like wrenched me. And then I just started thinking about what my dad had said to me. You got yourself into this mess, and you can get yourself out of it. And then I did something that my dad had told me many, many times all of my life. I turned the rearview mirror around, and I started looking in it, and he said, always look at the man in the mirror, and you'll always find the answers. And I started looking back, thinking about the way my life used to be, how good it used to be, how good I used to feel, how happy I was. And I said to myself, you got to get that feeling back. I used to make plenty of money. You got to do that again. People love being around me. You want to do that again. I said to myself, look at the people that you're hanging around with now. I mean, come on. And I made one of the best decisions of my life. I made the decision to save myself from myself. I was the problem. Nobody but me. It wasn't the economy. It wasn't the bank. It wasn't other people. It was nobody. It was me. Now, please hear me. There's a lesson here. Don't be a victim, and don't live in that self-imposed blame and denial. That's like saying it's somebody else's fault and it's not mine. Because if you don't like the way your life is going, don't blame other things and other people or make excuses. Do something about it. You're the one, you. And trust me, you can do something about it. Now, I'm not making light of anybody's difficulties, because I've had people come up to me all around the world and tell me stories about some of the horrible things that have happened to them and how they overcame them. I mean, when some of these people were telling me these stories, I got chills, but they overcame them. It's if you are one of these people that is caught up in this blame and excuses, I'm just going to tell you, a great decision is to save yourself from yourself. And I got some real good news. I'm back. I live in the same neighborhood where I lost that home. I just have a bigger home in a better location. Now, I've walked down both sides of that money street. I've lived with money, and I've lived without it. I've felt the joy and the wondrous things it can do, and I've experienced its hurt, aches, and pain that it can put upon us if we let it. Now, a lot of the decisions that I make today come right out of that time because my failures are some of my greatest treasures. Never throw away a failure. They are great truths. You paid for them. Boy, you paid 100%. Why not use them? And I'll tell you something about money. It really can reveal to us a lot about ourselves, because if we'll look at it, it's like putting our life on a big screen, and it's constantly telling us what we need to do or what we need to change or what we need to learn. It's constantly telling us. And I travel all around the world now telling people that they can have financial freedom. They can be successful. I do have a lot of people, though, that come up to me after I finish giving this money talk, and they'll say to me, "You talk a lot about money. Boy, you really talk a lot about money, and it's not the most important thing in life." And I always tell them, "Why, I know money's not the most important thing in life. Why, in my life, God's more important than money. My family is more important than money, and my health is more important than money. But I do place money in the same category with breathing. Doesn't get much more important than that." Now let's visit what I call a safe place, because this is where we can all live. Now, one of the best security systems that we can put into our home is money. We feel more protected. Our families feel more protected. Food even tastes better. We sleep better, our family sleeps better, and our family has a whole lot more confidence when we're bringing that money into that house. Bills come in, we just pay them, no problem. We feel strong, hey, they feel strong too. It's a very safe place. You see, your home is your sanctuary, and it's supposed to be a place of peace and security. It's like your unique place. You see, a home should be a place that you want to go back to every night to relax and to renew, to get ready for the next day. This is what I'm talking about, a safe place. And money does have power. Now, if we're going to do something, we might as well win. And if we're going to do something, we might as well get paid well for doing it. And when we do that, the place that we live in can be a safe place. Now, let's take a look at why I believe that so many people don't have financial security and the freedom that money can bring. Now, I believe one of the reasons is that they don't believe that they deserve it. They just don't believe they deserve it. It's kind of like they don't believe they're qualified to have it. It's like they're born to this, and it becomes a part of their life at such an early age, and they just accept it. And they feel embarrassed that somebody has it and they don't. It's like a stigma, and it's like they're marked for failure, and they believe that everybody else knows it. Now, sadly, most of these people are just misinformed. They're confused. Something or someone has blinded them to their potential. And I believe that this is one of the biggest crimes that has ever been committed upon people. And I mean millions of people. To me, it's like they're being robbed of the life that they're supposed to live. You know the talk. Oh, you can't do that. You can't have that. You can't live there. Come on, you can't afford that. What do you need that for? Don't you know who you are? Boy, misery does love company. They really do. And here's another one. You find an opportunity, and you see it, and you want it, and you're all excited about it, and you believe it can take you where you want to go, where you've never been, bring you all types of joy, financial security, happiness, and you go share it with one of these people, and they go, "What is this? Some scheme? Yeah, I bet it's not honest." See, these people are dream killers and opportunity killers. And by the way, they laugh at you, and they're no accident. These people do these things intentionally, and they're like a disease, and they're infecting too many people. So many people think this too, that they're not smart enough. They're just not smart enough, when in reality, if they would just listen and learn from the right people and apply themselves, they would find out that they are smart enough and that they can do anything that they want to do. Now, sadly, with a lot of people, they're intimidated by what they think success requires. Success is very, very simple. And I will tell you something that holds a lot of people back. They turn to the wrong people for advice. They'll find an opportunity, something they can do with their lives, and they'll go to some relative who doesn't have a clue what they're talking about to get advice on how to be financially independent. Doesn't have a clue, and they'll listen to them. And here's another one. I've seen a lot of people that started in something, were successful for just a little while. I call them visitors to success. Maybe they celebrated too long. They didn't keep their momentum going. They really didn't put down roots deep enough so they could stay there. There is another group of people in America, and by the way, there are millions of these who are tired of a career with money but full of stress. Like they feel like they never get away from it. They never have a moment's peace, and they really want to try something new. And a lot of them want to work out of their home but still make good money and spend more time with their family. I read recently where there are 40 million home-based businesses in America, and more are coming. Now, that is exciting. Who are these people that I talk about that have gained the freedom that money can provide? Well, they come from all walks of life. They're blue-collar people, orphans, immigrants, people from the inner city, physically challenged people, highly educated people, people with very little education. You see, this life is available to anybody that wants it, because the evidence cannot be denied. There are just too many of them. And I meet them everywhere I go. I meet immigrants that come to America and they don't even know how to speak the language, and next thing you know, they're tremendously successful. I meet a lot of women whose husbands have burdened them with debt, left them, and they pick themselves up and they make it on their own. I've met a lot of people like me that had successful businesses, lost them, went broke, made it back again. I met plenty of people, and when I tell you I've met a lot of these people, I mean I've met a lot of them. All these types of people that I'm talking about. I've met people that experienced personal tragedies, got through it, picked themselves up, got going, got that financial freedom and independence. I've met laborers that today are very wealthy. There are millions of these people. Now, what am I saying? If they can do it, you can do it. Now, the majority of these people are ordinary people who decided to change their lives. You need to hear this again. The majority are ordinary people who decided to change their lives. Now, whether you're full-time or part-time, there are a lot of ways to do this. But if you're part-time, you can supplement your income while you build your bridge to your financial freedom. I'll never forget when I was watching television one day, and all of a sudden this breaking news story came in about a ship that had left China to try to get to America, and it was about to sink. And there were all these Coast Guard boats around it. Tugboats had ropes all attached to it, trying to keep it from sinking. It was listing over, about to tilt over. This news crew boarded this ship, and they had the news reporter with them, and they had the cameraman and an interpreter. And they were going all over the ship, and then they went down in the bottom of the ship, and when they got down there and all those lights from that camera came on, there was about 100, 150 people down there. I mean, they'd been there a long time. And I saw them approaching this little lady, and she weighed about 85 pounds, but she had this great big smile on her face. And the interpreter asked her, said, well, why would you sacrifice all of your life savings you worked so hard for? And you know she really worked hard, because it cost about $35,000, they said, to get on this ship, and then risk your life. Why would you do that? And she said, because, I'd never forget this, I'm going to the Golden Mountain. You see, She didn't see it as something that you had to claw and climb to get to the top, the rat race. She saw it as a mountain of opportunity so huge it just could not be ignored. I'll never forget that. You see, we live in the wealthiest society in history. There are trillions of dollars in this economy. Now, I didn't say billions. There are trillions of dollars in this economy that anyone can have a part of. And we all should be very thankful to be living at a time like this. I also remember when I was in South Florida and I was talking to this man from Cuba. And I asked him, well, how long have you been in America? And he said, just about a year. And I said, well, how many times had you been here before this time? He said, oh, I'd never been here before. And he was telling me about how successful that he had been since he had come to America. And he told me that he had a wife and a little boy still in Cuba, and until he bought a home, he couldn't bring them to America. And he got emotional, and he said to me, Parker, my little boy has never eaten a store-bought cookie. And then he said this to me, when I came to America, it was as if I was born brand new again. What a powerful thing. You see, I believe that no one should ever apologize for having money as a driving force in their life, because money does touch every aspect of our lives. And I'm never going to quit talking about money, because I know it can affect us in so many ways. And the lack of it and the misunderstandings about money have ruined too daggone many lives. So I'm not going to quit talking about it, because it's too important. And it's also inherent in us to like those things that are better. And money does truly have power. I've said that many times, because it does have power. And it is the adult scorekeeper. And if we're going to do something, we might as well do it well. And if we're going to do something, we might as well get paid top dollar for doing it. Now, also, money is a great motivator, and it does make us stronger. And when we have it coming in, and we have a lot of it coming in, it does make us think different, and it insulates us from so many of those daggone problems. Now, I challenge you to ask yourself this. How much am I selling my life for? Because that's what we do. We live in a capitalistic society. What does that mean? Capital is money. We get money for what our value is. So I'm going to give you another strong recommendation. If you're doing this, stop underpaying yourself. Increase your value. This new world has torn down those old myths that we have to wait until we're older to do it. I'll never forget when I was in Huntington Beach, this 22-year-old said to me, I'm a boy making a man's paycheck. You see, age, color, size, credit, failed before, haven't failed before, has got nothing to do with success. And it's got nothing to do with making a lot of money. But I want you to know that there's a lot of money out there waiting for you. What am I saying? There's a shocking difference in lifestyle just waiting for you now. And it's right there at your fingertips. Don't wait. Don't wait. Here it comes. Time is money. And time doesn't wait for any of us. And money never sleeps. There will always be more money that can be made than any of us would ever be able to get to. And there's more money being made faster today by millions of people than ever before in the history of the world. And there's always going to be money that can be made in any town, in any weather, and in any economy. I had a man come up to me after I finished a talk in Dallas, and he said, Parker, I want you to know that since I heard you the last time, I've tripled my income. And I saw this as a great opportunity. I said, well, what in the world got you to do that? Tell me, what was it that you did that got you to decide to triple your income? He said, it was time. He said, I was sick and tired of not having it, and I just wasn't going to put it off any longer. He said, you woke me up, and since then I have tripled my income. Now, I've met a lot of people like him, and I'll always remember this story. because I have so many of these stories that I've met these people all around the world. And boy, to me, they're so special. This man told me that there was a time in his life that he was struggling with money, but just about every day he was playing golf with his friends. This man lived in Tampa, Florida. He said one day his friends pulled in to pick him up to go play golf, and he got his golf clubs out of his car, and he was walking towards their car, and he said to himself, your life's not going anywhere. This isn't getting anywhere. You're not doing anything with your life. And just as he was getting ready to put those golf clubs in the back of that car, he said to them, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to play. Turned around, went back and put his clubs back in his car. He said he went into his office and he sat down. And see, to him, I talked about before these defining moments, those life-changing moments. He said he sat there and he talked to himself and he said, Ralph, if you don't start doing what is required of you to be successful, it's never going to happen. And he made up his mind that he was going to do it. Oh, by the way, he's a very, very successful man. He lives in a gorgeous home at a country club, and his backyard today is the golf course. You see, for him, it was time. Now listen to me. Make this the time for you. Make that life-changing decision now. See, we hear so much about when we live in America, we're free. And it is a great country. But really, if we don't have financial freedom, we're only half free. We're not totally free. A man from one of my audiences came up to me and said, well, if I don't have money, then I'm just another slave in a free country where I could be totally free. Well, I said, that's exactly right. So here it is. Decide now that you're not going to look back and say, it could have gone the other way. You don't want to do that. Now, remember how much I talk about when we make up our minds, it's amazing how many other people make up their minds with us. Make up your mind right now that you are going to claim what you are entitled to. I said what you're entitled to. It's rightfully yours, but you got to go get it. And you need to say this to yourself, I'm not going to let someone live in my dream house, drive my dream car, and take my children's education from them. I'm not going to let that happen. Somebody else is not going to take my money that's supposed to be mine. I'm not going to let that happen. And you need to make this commitment to yourself. I don't want to be half free. I want to be totally free. Totally free. Financially free. So let's just take another step right now and claim your freedom. So here's how you do it. Say this to yourself. I will claim this life as my own to be totally free. Totally free. I keep talking about that. Totally free, not half free. This is mine. I will pay the price. This is where I'm going to stay, and this is going to be for me and mine. And I'm going to defend this claim on my freedom with everything I have. Because, listen to this, I cannot live without it. That's making up your mind. That's not I want it. That is I've got to have it. There's a difference between want to and got to. I shall not be moved. I know some things are going to go wrong. That's a given. I understand that. So I will not let a slip become a fall. I will not be a temporary person. And when someone tries to steer me in another direction, it will have zero effect upon me. I do not hear it. I do not hear it. It will have zero effect upon me because I do not hear it. Because they're going to try to steer you in another direction. Trust me, they already have in your life, and they're going to keep right on doing it. I accept total responsibility for my life and my freedom, and I will be accountable for myself without hesitation. That means we're not going to blame. We're not going to deny. We're not going to make excuses, and we're not going to cop out. Because you really need to know this. It is easier to win and succeed, and by far much harder to fail. You see, it is special to be free, totally free. I'm never going to stop talking about money. It's too important. And it's right out there waiting for us. And go get it and go have it. And keep saying to yourself, I'm going to be free, totally free. You see, the truth is that we all can do this. And when you do, you can take it to the bank and take it to the bank and keep taking it to the bank.